In her new book, $40 and a Brand, author and brand strategist Denise Kaigler takes readers on her inspirational journey as she shares her brand transformation from shy introvert to corporate executive. In $40 and a Brand, she includes firsthand stories featuring celebrities and other influencers, including Jay-Z, Venus Williams, and former President Bill Clinton. The stories, along with the book's branding tips and activities, are designed to help individuals who feel hindered by their shyness conquer their fears to achieve personal or professional goals. We now welcome author and personal brand strategist Denise Kaigler. Denise, welcome to Urban Update. I say welcome back here, but we'll get into that a little bit later. It sounds really interesting, but before I get into the book, I have to ask you, how did you come to the title of this book, $40 and a Brand?
$40 and a Brand, How to Overcome Challenges, Defy the Odds, and Live Your Awesomeness, a full title. But thank you for having me. And it's interesting, so I had a story inside the book that was called $40 and a Brand, which was really the inspiration behind the book. And I was with my girlfriend and her husband in their home reading the manuscript before I knew that it was actually going to become a book. And she's reading it, and it was a different title, which she didn't like. And it was very corporate sounding. And she said, have you ever thought about calling the entire book $40 and a Brand? And I looked at her husband and I thought, well, nobody will know what that means. I'd have to explain it on the back of the book. Just so explain it on the back of the book. And so I did. And the response has been much better than it would have been had I had that sort of boring corporate title. So, but the inspiration behind the book, $40 and a Brand, goes back to college. And I was putting myself through Emerson College in Boston, and I was working part-time jobs, and I didn't have any money. One day I woke up, I had no money and no food. I looked through my refrigerator. I lived in a studio apartment on Tremont Street by myself, and I was in my junior year of college. And because I was an independent student, I just couldn't, I was working all the time in saving money or getting money through Pell Grants and scholarships and student loans, anything I could do to piece together my tuition. But this one particular day I woke up and there was nothing to eat, and I looked in and looked at my refrigerator and my cabinets. I found onions, a tin of flour, and a bottle of cooking oil. So I thought, okay, onions, flour, cooking oil. What does that get you? Onion rings. So I fried onion rings. So for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I ate onion rings because I'm a college kid, right. And a lot of people can relate to that story, which is why I was inspired to write the book based on that. What happened was one of my friends called me, and she heard the sound of my voice, and she said, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. I don't feel well. I have no money, and I have no food, and I'm scared, and I have no idea what to do, because I had no one to call for help. And so she told me she would check on me a little bit later. 2 hours later, my buzzer to my apartment rang, and it was this guy named Sammy. And I'd only met Sammy once or twice. He came into my apartment and told me he had just received a phone call from his niece about my situation. And I looked at him, and he reached into his wallet, and he opened it up, and he handed $40 to me. And I just started crying, and he said, I want to help you get through this. And he took me to the grocery store to buy food, and that sustained me until I got my next paycheck. And it was a modest gift, but it meant so much to me in my life, and it sort of re-energized my desire and my passion to actually do something with my life and make something of myself.
Well, talk to me about, in your book here, I guess, how did you get to interact with so many celebrities that you feature in your book?
Mostly, well, my jobs. So I was very fortunate in my career. So I spent 17 years at Reebok, a couple years at Nintendo, a few years at Boston Scientific. Most of my celebrity encounters happened between Reebok and Boston Scientific. So after putting myself through school, I just worked my tail off, and I was able to land some very nice roles at very big global brands. And I write about this in my book, a lot of tips about just working really hard, just walking where other people run and never just giving up. And so because of that, I was able to have roles that put me in touch with a lot of celebrities.
Now, can you offer you offer a series of activities that folks can engage in to help in their journey? Can you just sort of share a few or give us a taste of where you're going with this?
Sure. So in my book, and all of my activities, my brand building activities, were developed by my company, MDK Brand Management. And so in the book, the book is divided into 3 sections. There are stories that recount my journey from, as you mentioned earlier, shy introvert to a corporate leader. I also teach. I'm an adjunct professor, and then founded my company, and now an author. So to do that, you just can't just wake up and have that happen. If you have certain challenges that you're encountering, you can't just blink your eye and they go away. You actually have to work towards overcoming them. So there are some activities. One is to write your elevator pitch, and people have said that, write your elevator pitch, but very few people actually write an elevator pitch. And it's so important because when you
say elevator pitch, you're talking about
your introduction,
right away, so people
quick.
know where you're coming from.
Yeah, quick and actually even marketing savvy, because you want to make sure your pitch is something that people are going to remember. Because people like you meet so many people over and over and over again, just different people through your daily life. But how somebody introduces themselves to you, you're going to remember that person. So in my book, I have a process for how you write your elevator pitch that is going to make you memorable. Something else that I talk about in my book is to define your why. Your why. So people will, your why, your what you do. So you're an anchor, a reporter, you're a marketer, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. Well, there are millions, thousands of people who are your what, but your why is what's unique about you. Your why is what's going to help you stand out. So focus on defining your why. That then builds into your elevator pitch. So I talk about how to define your why. My why is that I was a shy introvert. So that's why I founded a company based on brand management, because I want to help other people who are like me, not just a shy introvert, but who also have maybe other challenges that they're looking to overcome.
Now, besides the celebrities, what types of people do you find the book to be helpful for?
Well, so I don't know how helpful for celebrities it will be, but the book is really for anyone who is still on their journey. Most people are still on their journey, so anyone who understands and recognizes that they still have room to grow or opportunity to grow. I'm still growing. Most people are still growing. If you ask for a show of hands, how many people have arrived? How many people are exactly where they want to be in their lives? Very few people raise their hand.
Very quickly, we have to wrap this up, but when you keep saying how shy you were, I mean, you don't seem shy to me. What happened?
College happened. I had a wonderful professor, Marcia Della Justina, and she just broke me out, but also just life happened. Life happened.
And a part of that life, I should point out, happened here, right at WHCA TV, because you were a former colleague, you used to work here, and then when you were on your journey, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
And your journey is great to see you.
Yes.
Your journey has really taken you to
and I write a story,
places.
and I write a story on Channel 7 in my book.
Okay, am I in the book?
Your name is not in the book.
Come on, all right. $40 in a brand. That's the book. The author is Denise Kaigler. We're out of time. Denise, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for
and
having
good luck
me.
with your book.
Thank you.
And maybe in your follow-up edition.
Okay, Byron.
Okay. All right. That's it for this edition of Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. For all of us here at Urban Update, have a great Sunday, everyone.